Okay. Hello. Uh, that's a lot better. Unless I lean forward. Let's lower the camera a little bit. Yeah, that's much better. Uh, Smeth did a thing. Oh shit. Um, Speaking of Smeth doing a thing, a link to his Substack is in the description of the stream. Oh wait, no, I do want to subscribe. When I say no. Jesus. Okay. Substack is kind of aggressive with their additional shit they want you to do. Oh, no. There we go. Oh, again, I have two monitors only and it's killing me. Well, I have all my monitors here, but they're not mounted and shit. It's a pain in the ass. Okay. That looks good.
No, I already figured that might come in this bathroom. I have to look
Zoom
around
it up
for
a bit.
all I gotta do is
So,
if I find that motherfucking key.
let's start off with the image. There's Smith as his becoming Mr. Girl. Now, full disclosure, I saw this earlier. I read like right here, and then I stopped. And I was like, I just need to do this on stream. I was really bored earlier, um, and neglected, which is obviously the thing that I should obviously do, which would be to go over this on stream, show Smith some love. I've actually been anticipating this, and I got I think like a week and a half heads up that he was working on this before he talked about it publicly. So I've been anticipating it a little longer than uh, everyone else. I'll take my meds real quick. And then after this, I'm going to do the rest of the Orbiter War Part 2 Mr. Girl Destiny video. What the fuck? Huh? Oh, I thought you said words at me. Hang on. Let me mute myself before you say stuff at me. Okay, and I'm back. My aunt needs help with her new keys that are coming because she flushed the other ones down the toilet. If you were watching on the last stream, you'd be aware. Nightmare scenario, really. That's like empty. Hopefully, I don't have super bad allergies. All right. So it's called Becoming Max. I feel like if you follow Smeth, you know about this. You knew it was coming. He's talked about it on Twitter, and I think he talked about it on his stream. Well, I'm sure he has. I can't think if he talked about it on mrgirl's stream. I don't know. Anyway. Oh, wait. I do need to. Sometimes I forget that I need to open up Twitch chat because I don't get all the notifications through Restream. I've gotten some raids that I just didn't even acknowledge because of it. And some follows and donos that I didn't acknowledge because I didn't know. Well, at least I didn't acknowledge them until after I would normally. There we go. Cool. All right. So my understanding of this is that it's like a mixed media project. It's got a lot of writing, but it's got video clips, maybe other stuff. I'm not sure. Oh. So it just starts off with a picture and then go right into the writing. I'm often compared to Max Carson, mrgirl. Usually it's said dismissively. Being compared to Max is a bad thing that you should avoid, yet here we are. Thank you, lady. Right off the bat, this essay might remind you of Max. You're probably reading it on Substack. I stole that from him. And he probably stole it from someone else. It's a good idea. Now we got some quotes. Composer does not imitate, he steals. Igor Stravinsky? Immature artist copy, great artist steal. Faulkner. Good artist copy, great artist steal. Both Picasso and Steve Jobs. That's funny. If you Google derivative, you'll get this definition. Typically of an artist or work of art, imitative of the work of another person, and usually disapproved of for that reason. It isn't always bad to be derivative. This started during the modern art movement, when novels became the most important thing. Today, new and exciting artwork instantaneously becomes old news. This attitude emerged alongside consumerism. It's an ideology that differs from art as a commodity, or that defines art as a commodity. The customer is always right, and artists are like annoying pests that inhibit your ability to freely consume their products. Feel that the most when I pirate movies. Or if I pirate whatever I pirate. Not always movies. Okay. Let's go here. And I'm just gonna pop this out. And 2 monitors is still killing me. Pop out chat. There we go. It makes things a bit easier. Oh. That makes everything a lot easier. Hell yeah. Yeah, both popped out. We venerate novelty, but we reject transgressiveness. Throughout history, people with creative new ideas are despised and mocked by their peers. They fight for their ideas to be accepted. But few of them live to see that day. People are adverse to creativity because it leads to change. 9 times out of 10, change leads to negative outcomes. It's dangerous. That's Max in a nutshell. Hey, Alk, how's it going? Yeah, I think that even directly, when a lot of people criticize mrgirl, they criticize him for the change they think that he wants. They'll accuse him of wanting to change something. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But without having him state it, he'll get accused of it, and then people usually then say why that's a bad idea or it's a dangerous idea. It's going okay over here. What's going on with this little chat box? There we go. Found out that I can pop out Twitch chat too. I've never streamed with them popped out. That's pretty useful for me. Otherwise, we're just in the very beginning. You missed almost nothing. And if you did miss anything, I did leave a link to Smeth's Substack in the description. If you agree with the above definition of derivative, you will never be a great artist. Unless by sheer dumb luck. To be great, you must steal. If someone does something that inspires you, it becomes part of you. You improve upon it. You make it your own. Couldn't tell if I wanted to sneeze or not. Okay, then since this isn't part of this clip,
allow me to destroy your gallery. Oh. Bullshit. Bullshit. Derivative. That I love. I absolutely love.
That's just the air conditioner.
I want it. It's everything. I mean, look at us. We're just air conditioners. I mean, after all, we're just walking around on the planet, breathing, conditioning the air. I condition it hot. That conditions it cold. I mean, it's symbiotic. No?
No, it
I mean,
is.
we're just the air conditioners walking around on this planet, screwing each other's brains out.
So true. I never thought of it like that.
I love that. Then it's the end of the real Slim Shady. Max is not the real Slim Shady. His rap songs sound like they were written by him. And I just want to say, the only reason I didn't read that is because I found out when I quoted Bo Burnham on Wix panel, I feel very uncomfortable reading out song lyrics. Because I don't know how to read them without putting the cadence of the song if I know the song into it. And then it makes me feel like I'm singing it weird, and that's embarrassing. In many of his videos, he mimics Mr. Plinkett from Red Letter Media. I don't know who that is. He follows in the footsteps of other YouTubers in structure, style, and subject matter. When Max started streaming, Destiny was his mentor. Inspired by Destiny, Max made his streams more colorful. He copied the debate format and made it his own. He stole a lot of ideas from Destiny, but Destiny stole very little from Max. Destiny isn't interested in creating art. He's interested in maximizing the value of his product. He surrounds himself with orbiters who copy him and make him look genius. That's pretty true. That's why there was a big gap between Vosh leaving and mrgirl showing up, and right before mrgirl showed up, I was like pretty much at like the end of my ability to stay interested in his content, because I think Destiny needs a big personality to clash with in order to be really interesting. I don't think there was like really anything that was super exciting between Vosh and mrgirl at all. I still watched, but it was a lot worse for a long time. Max and I have had a creative back and forth. Sometimes it may seem like my work was inspired by his, but I notice when his work is inspired by mine. For instance, after my video, Your Narcissist Boyfriend Abused Me Too, I started using personality disorders as a framework for discussing behavior. Now he does it too, and this goes both ways. Max has a lot of power over me. He really criticizes my work because he doesn't want to exercise power. Meanwhile, I critique his work as much as I want. Sometimes this makes me feel very guilty. Me too. I've decided to dissociate from Destiny right before Max arrived. That's funny. I think, yeah, right before he showed up, I remember talking to my wife saying, like, seem like Destiny's gotten like a lot more like boring to you, something along those lines, because like we'd watch like Destiny streams like on YouTube would be like daily watch for us, like the conversation like do we have anything new to watch? It would usually be like a Destiny stream. At least that was the thing for a while. She took a lot longer to get to there than I did, but eventually that's just what it became. But then it just dwindled. Um, I feel like a lot of people are gonna criticize Smeth for saying that mrgirl changed the way he describes these things. I think that if Smith views it that way, it's there's really no way to make it invalid. And I think it's gonna be really annoying when people criticize that because if Smith was doing it and then mrgirl did do it, like it's a fair enough assumption to make. For reasons of feeling brainwashed and in a cult. Oh, see, that's the thing. I never talked in chat or anything. I just lurked always. I felt pretty divorced from the community. Like a long time before that, I tried like I did like a few debates and stuff in his Discord, but I didn't like the people there, so I never really thought of myself as like in the group. In 2019, before I knew Max existed, I experimented with streaming and called into a few shows. The types of conversations I wanted to see simply didn't exist. I told Pixie that debates were counterproductive and that progressives need to be more empathetic if they want to reach conservatives and Trump voters. I told another streamer that race play is a natural response to racism and that Bernie Sanders was a better advocate for black people than most black politicians. True. At the time, I decided against streaming because streamers didn't want to have these conversations. I never spoke to chat or the community either, just by watching him and taking on his thoughts. Oh, interesting. I always saw watching Destiny as me, the thing that like I would talk about getting from it was that I understood arguments better. I understood how to approach them and how to evaluate them and how to respond to them better. Yeah, I don't think I thought that. I was always kind of like waiting for him to like say something I disagreed with, and then like I would like yell at the TV. I was kind of like that. Oh, okay, something because streamers don't want to have these conversations. Yeah, I think it's really easy to slip into that. I would say that obviously I picked some stuff up, but I think that maybe my maybe just like how I want to say that I don't think that I was as affected because I'm really argumentative and stuff, but there's probably things that I picked up that I didn't even realize they were just like so integrated. I feel like if I could see a video of myself from then now, I would probably be unhappy with how much that I picked up that just sort of went underneath the radar. So he says, I'm already Max. When my intro to psych teacher asked us why we chose this class, my classmates gave answers like, I want to help people. And I said, everyone here is either mentally ill or wants to learn how to manipulate people. The word people used to describe me was intense. I had provocative discussions with my peers asking if they were pedophiles for being attracted to someone 3 or 4 years younger. The night before my 18th birthday, I took nude photos of myself and then bragged about it to my friends and teachers at school. Inspired by Egon Schiele, I would draw nude portraits of myself and bring them to art class for critique. I also painted giant vaginas like Georgia O'Keeffe because the feminists didn't appreciate when a man did it. I was suspended 5 times in elementary school for doing normal kid things, and the cops were called multiple times to scare me. The ACLU never came to save me, so I never felt the same sense of trust in the American system that Max felt. He wasn't put in his place until college when they arrested him for empathizing with school shooters. I grew up fairly close to Amherst, Massachusetts, where Max grew up. It was a lot more progressive by the time I got there. I see Max as an alternate reality version of myself, an older Smith that had more support going into young adulthood, whose college didn't almost trans him, and who wasn't a smothered only child that grew up in a trailer. That's why I look up to him. That's why I participate in the memes about him being my dad. He's a 38-year-old Jewish Smith. That's funny. I I feel like Mr. Girl isn't like stereotypically Jewy uh like that, but what do I know? He has a lot of parallels. Yeah, he does. Um, I gotta say, I got suspended indefinitely uh until I changed um the the ACLU never came to save me thing hits me personally because I contacted the ACLU. I had in big huge letters in Sharpie Hail Satan on my arms, and I was told that I had to leave school and I couldn't come back until I covered up. So I was like suspended indefinitely until I changed that. So I came back with I took a plain gray hoodie and in permanent marker I wrote on it, I'm wearing this because I don't have the same freedom of religion that a Christian student has. And then I was told that, well, he told me I had to take it off, and I said, "You're not allowed to do that. That's against the law." And he said, "Okay, you really want to do this? You want to fight this? Then I'll expel you and prevent you from getting your GED." Now, everybody loves to tell me when I say that he can't prevent me from getting my GED. I'm aware of this. Like legally, he can't. Like maybe he could have made it more difficult for me, locally at least. But I understand that the principal doesn't have that power. He was trying to threaten me to get me to comply. So it was that point that I just said, "Fuck this," and I dropped out and I took my G test and I passed it. Like I guess normally you have to do like these study guides, but like I'm kind of like a mini class, but I just like aced the pre-test, so it was no problem. Um, what was it? Oh yeah, and that always makes me really mad because I reached out to the ACLU, was like, "Hey, I need your guys' help," and they sent me this court case where this kid got in trouble for wearing a Marilyn Manson shirt, where he's like hitting Jesus with a cross or something like that. And I was like, well, this isn't the same at all. This is you guys are talking about a shirt that's somebody's like the purpose of that shirt is to like demean another person's religion. I wasn't. I was a Satanist, and it just in a school full of Christians. And like if a Christian student got kicked out of school, well, got threatened and then dropped out and took their GED because their school didn't let them wear a religious thing, they'd be a fucking hero. And I was really, really mad that the ACLU wouldn't help me. And also, what the school did was illegal. They had like programs from the church come into the school and stuff and like advertise and everything. So like they very clearly broke the law. Along the way, I got more and more fucked up and numb. College did a lot of work, and so living with my parents, and so didn't living with my parents. Along the way, I got more and more fucked up and numb. College did a lot of work, and so didn't living with my parents. I'm not sure. Now at 30, I'm putting the pieces back together, same as Max. I've kept this narrative to myself because of the time Max compared Elderdrazi to Bob from the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. And I listened to this conversation while stirring in a galvanized tub of pumpkin guts and oatmeal, getting ready to bathe in primordial ooze for the Halloween show. I remember this. There. Yeah, I think if there's any part of it, the parts of you that I probably hate are the parts that remind me of myself.
There's an obligation that I'm supposed to save your life. That anytime you're lost or confused,
I just want to say this came up because of shit. I can't remember.
I'm
Exactly.
supposed to be there. And life sucks.
Oh, I think Sunday said that there's nothing that Mr. Grill could do to get me to not be a fan of his. He said, I think that if he was caught like outright lying,
Life, your life always will deteriorate and fall apart and end because that's just what happens to everybody. And so I will fail that obligation. Eventually, I will have experience in your mind a fall from grace. You'll be like, well, he didn't tell me about it. He wasn't here for this. And I think the hatred will grow.
I think that he's wrong. I'm a lot more accepting than that. I don't need people to be what I expect them to be or what I want them to be for me to respect them or care about them in general. But I think that in order for me to radically shift how I view people, they have to show me that there's like they have to betray what I understand them to be. That's probably what it would take for most people. Then this is just quoting that clip. Although there's truth to the words, he's saying them because he's scared. Max spins admiration to a bad thing. He's filled with guilt, and he believes that you'll inevitably hate him. He's right. Death and suffering are inevitable. Warning Drazi won't change that. Admiration is hard for Max to accept. That's true. He said how much he didn't like it on the hotline, and I called in, and I gave him praise before I argued with him. If he commits suicide, I'll hate him till the day that I die. If he becomes a drug addict, I'll hate him a little less. I felt angry at my father for growing old and feeble. Was he always so pathetic, or is this new? The thought of Max having kids scares me. I'm not ready to have them, and I'm not ready for Max to have them either, but that's life. Our parents usually keep having kids. Eventually they die. We either have kids or we don't, and then we die too. It's a real letdown, but it won't stop anyone from looking up to you. I've avoided comparing myself to Max because of this scene from the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, where Jesse accuses Robert of secretly being out to get him. I've never seen this. I have no idea.
That'd be a good joke if it was funny. That's a cute story.
Oh, got him.
Give you some more conversations, Bob. I gotta run. This one's about as Cracker Jack. This is one about you. Let Bob tell it.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
About how you and Jesse have so much in common. Go on, Bob. Yeah, come on, Bob. Tell us a story.
Nope.
Come
Nope.
on. Entertain Jesse. He's here. Come on.
Well, if you'll pardon my saying.
Just pausing it for a moment here. I don't really have any particular thoughts. Feel like I have to see the whole scene to get the essence of it, but I don't want YouTube to pull down my stream for showing too long of a movie, despite the fact that it's being hosted on YouTube. They're shitty like that with
So,
streams.
It is interesting the many ways you and I overlap and whatnot. I mean, you begin with our daddies. Your daddy was a pastor at the New Hope Baptist Church, and my daddy was a pastor at the church in Excelsior Springs. You're the youngest of 3 James boys, and I'm the youngest of 5 Ford boys. Between Charlie and me is another brother, Wilbur here, with 6 letters in his name. And between
Damn,
Frank
he
and you
reaching.
is another brother, Robert, also with 6 letters. And my Christian name is Robert, of course. You have blue eyes, I have blue eyes. You're 5 feet 8 inches tall, I'm 5 feet 8 inches tall.
I've never seen this movie, but it just sounds like this guy wants to fuck him.
have had a list as long as your nightshirt when I was 12. But I seem to have lost some curiosities over the years.
Hey, something.
They both creep me out.
I'll tell you a story about that scalawag George Shepard. Shepard's one of Quantrell's lieutenants. He gave me a story much like Bob's, what bring him to mind. Going on about how much we had in
Also, he's not smoking that cigar right at all.
common and so on, so he could
That's
get
weird.
in the gang. How could I have known he had a grudge against me? How could I have known he was lying to get on my good side? I said, George, come on aboard. Glad to have you. George thought he was smart, except he wasn't. One morning, George rides into camp, and about 20 guns open up on him. See, yo, George, he only had one eye. You gotta have two eyes. You want to get Jesse.
Huh. Bob superficially compares himself to Jesse, but they have little in common. I formed my relationship with Mr. Girl trying to not be like Bob, but it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. The superficial comparisons began to stack up while my true feelings remained hidden. It wasn't until I started expressing myself that I was able to control my own narrative. I was complicit, but I also blame Max. He's a lot more like Jesse James than I'm like Robert Ford. Comparing yourself to Max is scary in two ways. Firstly, a lot of people hate him. He's a brand risk. On the other side, that's true. On the other side, Max isn't fond of his own reflection. If the comparison is substantial, he'll be terrified. If that's not, it's not that he doesn't desire connection. He yearns for it. It's that he needs to protect you from his greatest bugaboo, himself. If you're Max, there's no winning. In some ways, Max is a good role model. He's also not. Oh boy.
I think that this is a big problem in my mental health. That, okay, intelligence and figuring things out about the universe or about anything, people, the people around you, the system, the Destiny Sphere, Lex Friedman, my own audience, Shaylin, just whatever it is. Your brain tries to understand its environment socially, scientifically, whatever. But if when it does that, it does that in response to fear. Being disoriented is unpleasant and unsafe. It's scary. You're like, I don't know what's going on, so I need to figure out what's going on. But because of my childhood abuse, I get more scared the more I figure out what's going on, because I'm not allowed to figure out what's going on. That's one of the things that would trigger abuse. So I have no escape. I don't feel blissfully ignorant about anything. I feel scared when I'm ignorant. So then I try to figure things out. And then I feel like I will be killed if I do that. And especially if I'm good at it. So I don't really have a mechanism for getting to any type of psychological safety. I think maybe except acting like a child and Shaylin or various other people taking care of me.
Jesus. Um, That feels a little relatable. I don't think I've seen that clip before. I don't love it. I need just a minute. I very, very have to use the restroom. My apologies. I'm gonna hit you with the intro screen for a few minutes. I'll be right back. I didn't. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that I was muted too. I was like, wait, am I still muted? And I am. Yeah, I figured that might happen. I didn't have a choice. I had to go to the bathroom. Oh my God. I would have died. He says, if you begged me to armchair diagnose him, I would throw up my arms and say covert borderline personality disorder. Easily mistaken for something called quiet borderline. Covert borderline is an unofficial diagnosis proposed by Sam Vaknin. Oh, you're not blaming me? Yeah, it wouldn't matter if you did. But, yeah, I appreciate it. A leading expert in cluster B personality disorders, Vaknin claims that gender bias in psychology leads us to ignore covert borderline, which is more common in men than women. For this reason, we confuse covert BPD with narcissism. Max isn't a narcissist. He's a woman. He's Mr. Girl. That's really funny. Unlike classic BPD, covert BPD is not associated with suicidal ideation. Emotional dysregulation is a core feature of BPD, but the covert borderline has an internal locus of control. To compensate for his constant baseline of turmoil, the covert borderline relies on his intelligence as a coping mechanism. He's hypervigilant to moderate his effect on others. He uses intellect to control situations and rationalize his emotions. He's also hypervigilant of his health. Although he's prone to substance abuse, he will often sublimate his emotions with socially acceptable hobbies instead, which he pursues obsessively. The covert borderline is idiosyncratically ethical. It's his way or the highway. He's preoccupied with fantasies of perfected love, meaning he needs to feel loved at his worst. I feel like... Hey, Alley Cattails, welcome back. I feel like... I don't know how you can feel loved if you don't feel like you're loved at your worst. Is that really the kind of love that people want? Oh, and there's nothing to be sorry about. I didn't even see the sorry on there. People got things to do. I left for a minute. I had to excuse myself. Max is 38. If he has BPD, many traits are likely in remission, which he experiences as becoming more emotionally regulated. Personality disorders are not an objective fact, they're a narrative tool. If covert BPD was a map, it would be good enough to guide you around the commercial district of Max's brain. But if I see myself in Max, what does that say about me?
If I'm not convulsing, throwing up, possibly just outright passing out and dying, I'm gonna be disappointed. Let's set ourselves on fire.
That's funny. Max is the science experiment of his narcissistic father. An expert in child abuse, and the reason Max hates net good arguments. I'm sure it's been said that his father had a net good impact on the world. Meanwhile, Max will be brain damaged forever. Like me, and maybe some of you, Max is unwittingly drawn towards people like Destiny because they fill the role of his father. Max told Destiny he loved him after only 2 conversations. Because of his father, Max often expresses love through criticism. Likewise, if you criticize Max, he can be at peace with you. He doesn't need to be so vigilant if you can stand up for yourself. Otherwise, someone needs to pick up the slack, and that's him. He sees himself as a monster, and if you don't love the monster, can we really call it love? No. Not until you're both stripped of all your scales and bleeding out on the floor. That's love, baby. Yeah, kinda. I don't feel like that's that crazy. Which makes me wonder if maybe that is that crazy. Here, seeing it written through this lens. One moment. Max pours acid down his own self-narrative. It's no surprise he finds relief by contemplating black holes. There's literally no limit to the amount of abuse a black hole can take. He generously pours the narrative acid on everyone around him, inviting them into his world of chemical mush. Sometimes they freak out on his stream and leave. Sometimes they love it. If you can stand up to him, he might be an asset to you. Maybe you'll want him to be your dad. That'll scare the shit out of him. He makes his deconstructive superpower very attractive, like sticking his leg out from the gap in his dress is a source of strength, but if you love him for his strengths, it's time you met the monster. He'll let you down, just as he predicted. Okay. I can play this on stream.
Leave you alone. I should pack up my toys and just go. I see everything that you're trying to hide. You're disgusting inside. You're crying, but I can't let you escape. I don't know if it's pleasure or pain. Can't have one without the other, so let's call them the same. They're calling it rape, but you just keep on calling my name. We grew up on the same street, Amherst, Main Street. I was 576. You were 280. All those
Such a good song. Oh my god. It's quite a good one. In fact, I wonder I can look at it later. I wonder where I put that on my I made a tier list of all his songs from that album. It's a good one. Somebody once asked him what it was about, and he just said it's about Emily Dickinson. That's really funny that he gave the surface level take of his song. It's easy to be brave when you're filled with guilt. I think when I was talking to Smeth about this, he said that I think give me one sec. Pardon me, I don't know why I'm so burpy today. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he sent me that line, and I said, Jesus, that one hurt me. And I told him that I'm going to get really stressed out when I read this. Yeah, I think that's really, really true. If you feel really bad about yourself, if you're really guilty, then you're not going to be very concerned about your outcomes. Max looks sane compared to the average internet sociopath. Vosh is pedo-jacketed for looking at Lolly. Intellectual women and men stay silent. Opportunists go for the easy kill. Retards take cheap shots for clout. So many cowards concerned with their image and petty grudges. Max will immolate himself standing up for what he believes. He does it to stop the pain. He already can't live with himself. And we got a IDDQD quote. I'll take the risk.
Or shoot me, you faggots can't even bruise me. But try me and CQB, I'll teach you to fly with this Uzi. In this Mossberg, I keep coming back like a monster out of a movie. IDDQD, nothing you can do to me. Stab me or shoot me, you faggots can't even bruise me. But your words cut right through me. I drop down when you boo me. Can't even get up, I'm too weak. Saying ID.
Aw, cut off right before the end of the chorus. I don't know if you got like a system or anything, but Mr. Girl's music in general is some of like the bassiest, bumpiest. Like he has like the bumpiest bass on subwoofers, and this song is like the pinnacle of that. That bass in there just goes crazy. Reading this paper feels bad for my relationship with Max. I'm convinced he'll abandon me or something worse. I told him I was afraid to hurt him and asked for his consent, and his response was, I am God. He answered all my personal questions, but the more I understand, the more my heart starts to race. Eventually it came to my head, and I had a mental breakdown. I desperately messaged Max, nearly begging to be cared for like a child. He said nothing. I wrote about covert BPD because I wanted to understand what was wrong with Max. Now that I painted a clear picture, I see myself. The more aware I am, the more scared I become. It's what I've been struggling with in therapy. Underneath my intellectualizing and abstractions is an ocean of guilt. It rises up and attaches itself to anything I come in contact with. And I've been avoiding it by keeping myself distracted and confused. With this new insight, blurry shapes are coming into focus, and what I see ahead is pain. A lot of this paper starts by journaling on my phone at work. It's moments like these that I'm the most tortured by retail. Have a great day. Thanks for shopping, bitch.
But that's not the kind of power I'm talking about. I have not had, and maybe will not have, I don't know,
By the way, like the stream.
And
subscribe to Smeth's Substack.
An image that is seen as powerful or strong or commanding to outsiders, people who don't know me. It's a creepy power. It's a recessed thing. That's what it's a cave. And then if you go into the cave and you get to know me or my content, even interpersonally, this is how it is interpersonally. When people meet me and even if I'm like kind of boisterous or like the life of the party somewhere, I'm still not the life of the party on other people's terms. It's that I've terraformed the party. I've gotten my slime all over everybody and turned it into something else where it's like I'm something that you could crawl into. I saw worlds where I would be powerful.
That was a really good conversation.
On my terms. I wanted to get sucked into their worlds because I thought they would like me. But also, it was like a new way to think of how to stand up for myself. Which is not
this was
to
Tuna Stream.
Succeed on other people's terms, but to change the terms to my own.
It's called Your Childhood Sucks. I really recommend following Tuna on Kick. That's where he hosts the Your Childhood Sucks. He had Wick on, Reservoir on, and Mr. Girl on. I know I'm supposed to go on too. He takes a movie or TV show that you grew up with and examine it to see if it still holds up. And this is just sort of a conversation that stemmed from that. It was really good. It was a really good one. His was Superman 3. Wick's was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I didn't realize till Tuna pointed out does have an insane opening sequence. Ironically, talking about my relationship with Max has been the best way to differentiate myself. Even now, understanding and expressing what's happening around me puts me in control of it. You might accuse me of attaching myself to Max, but nothing has changed. I'm being honest about things that most people lie about or repress. If you were me, you wouldn't be caught dead talking about your relationship with Max. You wouldn't dare tell him how you feel. Why do you think I'm a Mr. Girl orbiter in the first place? I crash landed on planet Mr. Girl, rubbed my balls all over it. Mr. Girl welcomed me.
Hello.
That's good music.
Again. Welcome to the Smeth Den. I hate you. Every time I have to fucking tell you hello. Fucking hate it. Hate you. Have to fucking be there for you. Every time I fucking stream, every time I make my fucking art, I have to be there for you. Every fucking time I have to show up. I hate you. Now that that's out of my system, why don't I get my fucking link out?
I like to say the quiet part out loud. It kept me sane growing up as parentified only child with narcissistic mother. I shared this gift with my classmates, teachers, and friends. It's gotten me into trouble and sometimes isolated me, but I'd rather be alone than have friends who force me to dissociate. I feel that. For a while, I started to hide this part of myself, only opening up to a select few, holding everyone else at bay. Sorry. Living with my parents as an adult, I learned to avoid them. My mother uses guilt to suffocate me. I'll be screamed at if I make a space for myself, so I stopped trying. I thought I was protecting myself, but it was very bad for me. I realized that when I made my very first YouTube video... What was that? Why I didn't make a video. That's funny. Okay, I remember that. At the same time, a close friend and mentor had a similar crushing effect. I made a video about him too. He convinced me to give up on art and embrace hustle culture. With him as my mentor, I rejected my passions and learned to use self-loathing as a fuel. It doesn't matter how miserable life gets, the only thing that matters is money. His only passion. He tortured me as an extension of himself, devalued anything I could be proud of. Eventually, it was too much, and I cut him out of my life. Against the wishes of everyone around me, I reclaimed myself as an artist. The week I called into the Mr. Girl hotline was the week I quit my job at a nursing home to focus on applying for web developer jobs. I cleaned my room, I took my art supplies out of my dog cage, and I bought red lights from Spirit Halloween. Wearing only briefs, I called into the show from inside the cage. It was supposed to be one last art project. Suddenly, I was an artist again. I behave like Max more than I'm aware of myself and others. Oh, I behave more like Max the more I'm aware of myself. Yes, I see. Alternatively, I could dissociate. I could keep myself dissociated and confused, but Max is fucked up. He's like the girl at the gym who you can predict will get raped, but with mind rape. People hold Max to outrageous standards and give him criticism they wouldn't give to anyone else because he's asking for it. To be clear, this is a reference to a story that Mr. Girl told. The girl at the gym. Max clues everyone in on his guilt by constantly imposing new limitations on himself and ranking himself lower and lower within his own hierarchy. He's even made this a core principle of his artistic mission. His fans and haters aren't much different. They answer his calls by helping him brainstorm new and creative reasons why he's a horrible person. Since he's averse to admiration, he's more likely to respond warmly to criticism, so it's a de facto way that his fans express their love for him. Luckily, I don't have a compulsive need to enlist the people around me to punish me. I've noticed myself getting anxious when I'm admired, so I'm glad I can learn from Max's shortcomings. I'll keep my masochism in the bedroom. Oh boy.
Oh, it's a little bit spooky in here. A little bit spooky.
I don't like that tone.
It sounds a little spooky in here. It sounds spooky. But you know what's more spooky than that? You know what's more spooky than Findom? You know what's more spooky than sitting on the floor in your apartment with no furniture, clicking that fucking send button so you can give Shaylin another $500? Eventually, it's gonna get that bad. And then you're gonna die. But you know what? Start from the bottom, now I'm here. I start here and I get to the bottom. It's fucking life. But guess what? I don't fucking know. But you know what I'm saying. What you just do is just whatever. Fucking don't do the Findom. And then get it a bit different. You know, when I'm gonna give you a fucking flashback. I'm gonna give you a flashback to fucking. I'm gonna give you a flashback to fucking early 2000s. G-Unit. Haven't heard that for a long time, huh? I'm giving them out, giving you them flashbacks, them nostalgia. I remember the kids saying that in the fucking kindergarten playground. G-Unit. Anyway, I want to tell you a story about a long-term sex kink, that thing that I did that was so fucking fun. Here's an idea.
Yeah, I need a minute. Creepy, maybe more than spooky. I can understand that. All right, I have my breather.
Maybe I should tell you this. Okay, what I did, so me and my partner many years ago.
The music really throws me off. My brain keeps trying to assess what he's saying is a song.
So many years
it's
ago.
Fucking me up.
We both created Instagram accounts for the other person. And we both had control over these Instagram accounts. We would give each other assignments. I want you to take a picture of yourself doing this. And we would do them for each other, and then we would post it. And we would gather, like, kink goomers as an audience. And so she got the experience of being a kinky dude on the internet. She got that experience, and I got the experience of being a kinky girl on the internet. And you know what? That was so fucking fun. It was so fun to talk to people as if
Alley Cat tells my sentiments exactly.
If I was a fucking slutty kinky girl. People, all the girl power. Oh, all the support and the love. The support and the love that I felt when I was her was so... It just filled me up. It's a very fun and illuminating experience. And fun sexually too. And it was exciting. So there's your fun lifestyle fun kink idea.
That's funny. I had no expectations for that, and I was still somehow very surprised. It is an interesting concept. I wish he would have said what her experience was like, because I bet it wasn't good. I bet it was not good. I'm not worried about distinguishing myself artistically. My channel is about me, my thoughts, my feelings. Most people don't have it in them to do that. Being vulnerable is scary. It hurts and it forces you to dig deep. I have no problem standing out. I recently watched a drama streamer named Food Shops talking about me. Basically, she was posturing to her audience about giving me advice. By giving me advice, I shouldn't talk about my relationship with Max. I'm doing something wrong if my channel isn't growing as fast as a drama channel. I got really triggered by that. I was like freaking out in Smeth's chat. I was really mad at Food Shops. I think I was a little mad at Smeth for letting it go on. I get these comments from two groups of people, haters and bigger streamers that I antagonize. For example, when I picked a fight with Chud Logic about being referred to as a hobbyist. Most big streamers let growth dictate their artistic decisions, but I'm clearly not like that. I only want to grow on my own terms. Do you really think I'm trying to grow as fast as possible when I spend a month writing an essay called Becoming Max? Of course not. I'm building a different type of platform. It makes way more sense to compare me to Mr. Girl than it does to compare me to Food Shops. So which is it? Do you want me to stand out, or do you want me to do the same thing as everyone else? My content is deeply personal to me. Do you want me to design my personality around the algorithm? Who do you want me to be? Mr. Beast? Destiny? When streamers say these things, I think part of them is jealous of me. Part of me is jealous too. I like money. When haters say these things, I think part of them wants me to go insane and kill myself. I'd like to think not, but that's probably true to some degree. Why would I ever want to become Max? What's wrong with me? Some people distance themselves from those they look up to. They're scared. Maybe they don't believe that their work can stand on its own. Maybe they're afraid of rejection. Half you fuckers are just going through the motions, covering the latest controversy, trying to ride the slipstream of drama. Regardless of how easy I make it, you'll only understand me if you want to. For every one fan I get, I'll probably get 2 haters, and that's fun too. I'm glad I have Max to lean on. He's a train wreck and I love him. Who else can you compare me to? I turned my nose up at content creators until I saw the success Max had. Not only that, I personally relate to him. He's like my dad. Have you ever watched The Patient? That show's a fucking masterpiece. Steve Carell is a Jewish therapist who gets kidnapped by a serial killer, chained to a bed in his basement and forced to do therapy until the patient is cured. That's kind of like me. I'm the Jewish girl, Jesus. I'm the Jewish therapist locked in Mr. Girl's basement. I'm becoming Seth. Wait, is that the end? Hang on. Yeah, it is.
We're going to go to Stardust. Let her know that Wick sent you and spam those hate emotes. Okay.
Right, bye.
Bye.
Oh, this is just
Oh
the other
my
day.
fucking god, that took so fucking long. Do these people know this is an entertainment show? Do they know people are fucking watching? Do they know people are watching? Or do they think this is a private fucking conversation? What is this, fucking tea time or fucking cocktail party? No! This is entertainment. You know... Oh my fucking god. What the... People are so fucking stuck in their own fucking heads. They have no empathy for the audience. Well, I got empathy for you. Oh, it's the end of the show. Thank you for watching. You know what? It's been a great time. I've had so much fun.
Oh, I don't like it anymore.
I've had
Music
so
was fun
much
before.
fun.
Okay, I like it again.
But we're gonna end it.
No more Zim, please.
Yes,
Yeah, the words being said backwards really fucked me up. That's funny. One of Mr. Girl's fans said they needed somebody to read it in audio form for them. Wait, Smith said it would ruin it because nobody will scroll and watch the videos throughout the essay. An idea to split the audio clips and put them throughout, but it would be ugly and take so much work. I also asked Max to narrate it, which would be funny, but I also agree it would probably soften the piece. I did that. I fucking did that. It didn't make me as uncomfortable as I thought it was going to overall. But, I also felt like that went pretty smooth and quick. I think it was a pretty good, he did a pretty good job of, narrating his story, contrasting it with how people like to see him and how he sees himself. It was a lot more about Smeth than Mr. Girl. Overall, I think it was a pretty good and smart essay, though. I'm not sure if I agree with everything you said about Mr. Girl, but nothing came off as, like, straight up wrong. I'd have to think some more about the nuances of it. I don't quite believe Smeth in his videos, like it's contrived. I think it's something about being a very different age. He's 30 and I'm 45, but I really, his stuff, and I really like him. I'm assuming you say you really like it. Essay was good, smart, impressed. Yeah. Well, he worked on it for quite a while, and I talked to him a little bit while he was writing it. I expected it to be good, though. I like Smeth. I like watching Smeth stuff. Of all the people, when they put out something new, Smeth's new stuff is almost guaranteed to get a watch from me. I wanted to do the other video, but I'm fucking tired now. Tomorrow is mostly a day off, so I'll probably have a lot more energy. I just get exhausted. When my wife works, I stay in town, and a lot of it's just me sitting around doing nothing, which sounds weird, but it's very exhausting to do that for a long period of time. It makes it hard to, I had a job that was like that before too, where most of the time there was nothing to do. And I'd be so much more exhausted than if I did like physical labor. It's very draining. Oh, yeah, you know what? Before I go, which, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna do the Mr. Girl, Destiny stream. See, I'm out of it. Tomorrow, or maybe too. I know I'm supposed to talk to Smith soon. We had a conversation that I wanted to have prior, to this. But he suggested waiting until this came out, and I said okay. And then I also wanted to talk to him about the stuff that he couldn't get to talk about on the panel. But first, Elk asked me to watch this trailer, and I'm gonna, because I'm gonna be watching this Terrence McKenna film. Well, it's We Plants Are Happy Plants. Same person who made the last one, which I enjoyed a lot. I didn't really. be honest, I watched it because Elks is a really active member in the YouTube chat and Discord. He's my mod. He asked me to. I was like, yeah, I can do that. And I didn't have like any opinions at all if I thought I would like it or not. But I ended up liking it a lot. Like, if there's somebody in my community, I'm pretty cool with them. I'll probably, try to be somewhat accommodating at least. It took me a while to get to, but it was a really good doc. So I am gonna watch the next one. I'm not sure what I have this weekend. It depends on what other stuff comes up for streaming. If there's stuff that's time sensitive, then I'll probably push it back. Maybe this weekend. This is the trailer for it. Oh, man. In 1971, a young Terrence and Dennis McKenna went through an experience in the Amazon jungle that changed their lives radically. 44 years later, that story is getting revivified. What a word. I had to pause at it. Yeah, my reading's a little fucked today, too.
We went through this whole thing at La Chirera and left at the end of March. And the woman I was with and I stayed in Colombia another month. Everybody else went back. And we wrestled with it another month. And
Thanks for reminding me about the trailer, Elk.
I was quite out of it, I think. I believed that she would give birth to the word itself. And I believed that it would be a little glass fiance bead that I had lost in Laos 5 years earlier. And when she began to develop a round sore on the top of her mouth that was exactly the size of this thing, then I realized that this little object would drop down onto her tongue someday soon, and she would deliver it to me, and that it would be the Word made flesh. It would be the... Now are you alarmed? Now do you begin to get the drift that we've attempted to suppress so long?
What a wild thing to say. I guess more wild to experience. An account of extraordinary adventures in the Devil's Paradise.
I was flaming, and it took me years and years to dial it down so that it's even as friendly and packageable as it is in the present moment, because for a long time it wasn't. I mean, it just drove people to the walls. I mean, they just said, I don't know, and I don't want to hear any, and I've had it, and call me when you're better, you know.
Prepare for hypercarbylation. I don't think I know what carbylation means. Oh, this is old. So yeah, in the near future, I'm gonna watch that on stream at the request of Elk. Yeah, I'm pretty tired. Again, it didn't hit me until after I ate. I didn't eat until like 15 minutes before stream, and then after I ate finally today, I got tired. So maybe the thing is, don't eat before stream if I stream late. It does sound wild and interesting. I don't know, were you here? The only person who has permission to stream that doc. It's true, I do have permission from the creator of that film to restream it and comment on it. When Elk asked me to do it, I was like, I might get stricken by YouTube. And plus, like, I should just check with the guy. Elk gave me his email, and I emailed him, and he was like, yeah, absolutely. I think after I watch the second one, I'll write him a thank you email and let him know what I thought of it and give him links to the stream. That last one too, I still think about it a lot. It's very thick. A lot of the things that are said in it are extraordinarily heavy, and I really think that trying to understand the contents of it, right, like as you're watching it, or even right afterwards, or assuming that you did, is probably like a big mistake. It's definitely something that has to simmer and sort of just like integrate into your own frame in order to like really get it. There is a lot in it, yeah, and I think I probably have to watch it at least 2 more times. So like I think like things that are really complicated and heavy like that, it's usually like I'll watch it, wait a month or so, watch it again, and then I've already sort of had the ideas put into my head, and then I can try to get it better understood. The first time I'm just hearing it, and the second time I've thought about it, and now I can hear it again and look at it with the context I've already developed. And then I'll usually revisit something like that a year or so later, after I've really considered things, after attempting to understand it, after having heard it. And then I feel like that's probably that's the best way I've been able to figure out how to try to interpret things that are a bit larger than I can sort of digest on the first viewing or listen or whatever. Yeah, so if not this weekend, I'd say sometime during the next week. Also, not this next week. Actually, yeah, towards the end of next week, yeah. I'll probably do a lot longer streams and start earlier. My wife's gonna be gone, so I'll just have like nothing to really do. So I'll just probably stream a bunch. I'll have the time to. Yeah, I took a documentary film class in college and I loved it. In understanding and fullness, patience is a virtue. Makes sense. Yeah, I really do believe that, Saxon. I think people I don't remember who I heard it from, but I heard this saying, when you cease to strive to understand, you will then know. I think sometimes the really big, heavy things, you just have to pick it up and hold it and acknowledge it for what it is, and just sort of get from it what you can each time. But if you try to understand it, you're gonna have to make it fit and shape a bunch of things that you already think. So you're not going to be getting as much from it as you are just you just sort of like remaking it into your own idea, into like your own. You're remaking it as like your own version. You're welcome. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you guys liked the stream and clicked like on the stream. I'm going to try to relax a little bit so I can get some rest. I have not a whole lot to do tomorrow, which is good. So the goal is to stream earlier tomorrow. I've tried to shift them to be later, so there's less going on, and I think I might just have to understand that doing streams earlier is better, even if there's some background noise and shit that I have to deal with. I'll just have to get a better sound filter. Thank you guys for being here. Have a good night. Oh, yeah, I'll save that.